We are just 1 week away from Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness hitting theaters and hitting our eyes for the first time, unless you went to CinemaCon this week and saw the first 20 minutes. I'm so jealous. But before we get there, I'm going to be reviewing Doctor Strange from 2016, the first film to see Benedict Cumberbatch as the Sorcerer Supreme, donning the Cloak of Levitation in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This is the first Marvel film that really delved deep and broadened our horizons for magic stuff in the Marvel Universe and wizards galore. So what did I think of the film, and how does it stand toe-to-toe with some of the other solo superhero films in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Stay tuned for my review. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Hess Project. I'm John Ordalaza, and today I'm going to be reviewing Doctor Strange from 2016, the first film to star Benedict Cumberbatch in the Marvel Universe as Stephen Strange, Doctor Strange. This movie is a little underrated in my opinion. I feel like some people sleep on this, and it just kind of got buried because after 2016, we just kept getting banger after banger, dude. I mean, I think Civil War was the film right after this, so after getting introduced to this brand new character, this new toy we can play with, then we got all of our toys fighting each other, and literally it was just a little kid doing this with his toys for 2.5 hours in Civil War, and then we didn't really touch upon Stephen Strange until, well, he showed up in Ragnarok, and then the Avengers movies, and then, you know, he was just kind of like, you know, the spotlight character that would show up. So it's nice to go back and revisit this film that's now 6 years old, man. This is crazy to me. It's not like they intentionally pushed him aside. There were just so many other things that they were wrapping up in the Marvel film, the Marvel universe, that Doctor Strange 2 just had to be set aside for a little while. I know it was supposed to come out a year or two ago, but nonetheless, this film is a really great film, and we should not forget about it. There's a great supporting cast as well. I mean, I'm going to butcher his name. Chiwetel Ejiofor. I'm sorry if I mispronounced the name. I literally just looked up how to pronounce it. Chiwetel Ejiofor as Mordo in this film is probably my second favorite character in here. I love him, dude. This is the first time I ever saw him, and at least to my knowledge it is. I think he's phenomenal in this movie. He's got a lot of big words in his speech. Some people just might be off-put about, like, they might not care to understand what he's saying, and that's kind of how I felt. Like, when I first saw it, I still liked him in the movie. Like, he was cool. He's got a presence about him for sure. Everything about his performance in here, I love it, dude. I think this character's been slept on, especially, and I need to see more of him. I hope that he gets quite a bit in the new movie, even though, I don't know, I feel like there's just so much other stuff going on. I'm very happy to see that Mordo is coming back. They didn't just throw him by the wayside, because this character's really cool, and this movie does explore him quite a bit, how he's kind of like a blind follower to the Ancient One, and up until he finds out that she channels energy from the dark realm, or whatever, the dark dimension, and he kind of is hurt. He feels betrayed by that. He feels like he was lied to, so he goes off his own path, and that's where he starts taking magic away from magic users. Tilda Swinton as the Ancient One, I thought she was good. I like her. This is probably like the second or third time. She was in, what, Narnia, right? The Chronicles of Narnia, I think. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've seen the Chronicles of Narnia, but I'm pretty sure she's the witch, right? Tilda Swinton still brings this badassery to her character. There's some scenes where she outshines both Chiwetel Ejiofor and Benedict Cumberbatch, and that's crazy to me, dude. Like, I loved seeing her throw down. She had the freaking the orange shields just going at it. Like, she was insanely powerful in here. I loved it. I thought it was cool. Some of the action scenes with her are phenomenal, and let's go right into the action, visual effects. Jesus, they're good. One of those things that you used to like look into as a kid, like the like telescopes, but are they called kaleidoscopes? I think, I don't know. Like, you would just see a bunch of like shapes and stuff move and whatnot inside it. Like, that's what this movie becomes. Like, it becomes a giant kaleidoscope filling your 65-inch TV or whatever you have, and people are just running in it. Like, it's mind-bending stuff, things that my brain, I thought my brain could not conceive, but it's happening, dude. Like, there's so many intricate little visuals in the background, in the forefront, with the buildings and whatnot, just little intricate things like the windows kind of like rippling, and the edges of the windows, like the ledges just rippling into itself and starting over, the road splits, and like the cars just drive right off of edge, but then they like fold underneath. Dude, there's so much detail in the visuals in this film. It's insanely good. It's amazing. The colors do pop. There's a little too much color, if I'm gonna say. Like, there's some scenes where I'm like, why is this so colorful? Like, for instance, the whole Dormammu thing. I think Dormammu and his whole little dimension is just way too colorful. It takes the whole menacing aspect out of it, in my opinion, but I still thought that scene was fun. It was an entertaining thing. And that's mainly our boss battle, if you will. Like, there's some cool fights between Doctor Strange, Mordo versus Caecilius and his people, his followers. But really, the main boss fight is Dormammu, I've come to bargain. And then it's just like, back and forth, reversal of time and whatnot in this colorful spectrum of a dimension. Rachel McAdams is in here. She's kind of like the love interest to Stephen Strange, and she's not really present in the second half of the film. Like, Doctor Strange goes to ask her for help so she can stitch him up, and then brings the Ancient One's dead body to her to see if she can help, and then she's just doesn't exist after that point of the movie. She's not really a thought, and that's unfortunate because she's a great actress. I love Rachel McAdams, but I feel like if we just got just a little bit more. But this movie was focused on creating a new character that can be in the playing field with all of our big heavy hitters that we had at the time in the Marvel Universe. So I understand the love story. It wasn't really like a love story. It was kind of like what could have been. Oh, but also there's magic stuff going on. What I did like, though, is this story thread that is as human as a romantic element that we could have gotten with Stephen Strange and Rachel McAdams' character, but Christine, that's her name. I liked the slow story being built throughout the beginning of the film all the way to the end, which is Doctor Strange's arrogance getting the better of him and him realizing that it's not about you. That's what the Ancient One kept saying to him. It's not about you. And I love that story. He may not be the most fleshed out, amazing character in the Marvel films and the universe, but I loved what they told with his story. I loved it, dude. I really did. It made me love him even more towards the end of the film. He was just an okay kind of douchebag kind of character in the beginning, but this movie does a really fine job getting you behind him and getting you to care about him because he learns a lesson. He learns that it's not about him. He learns that showboating in front of his colleagues when he was a surgeon is not the best of things. So when he went to go help the Ancient One and his hands were all shaky, he gave the tool to his colleague that he kind of made fun of in the beginning of the film. I loved all of that, dude. And that slow ending where he's just walking in the Sanctum Sanctorum all by himself, and he's got the cracked watch that Christine gave him. He puts it on his arm, and it's like, there's a responsibility now behind this dude. He is now like the protector of like the New York Sanctum. And dude, the music, dude. You know who did it? I've been saying it. It's Michael Chiaccino. This is the first time I believe I've heard Michael Giacchino's score, I saw Jurassic World before this, actually. So, first two movies I've heard his score, and he's so good, dude. He's so good. The best thing about Doctor Strange, in my honest opinion, yes, visuals is like up there, dude. It's probably number 2 or tied at first place, but first place for me is the soundtrack, the music, the theme of Doctor Strange. It's all beautiful. It's well scored. I love listening to it, and that theme that the movie ends on, it just sends shivers down my spine. It doesn't feel like a happy ending. It feels like, he's in the now. Like, that's what it feels like for me. And Michael Giacchino does a fantastic job conveying emotion on top of a scene that already felt, a little like, oh wow, I know what this is about now. I know what we're going into now. And of course, Benedict Cumberbatch is great in the film. Chiwetel Ejiofor is probably my favorite actor of the whole cast. Like, I liked him. I think he really pulls off that character. He feels like he is this character off screen. It's crazy to me. I think he does a phenomenal job, and so does everyone else, dude. Rachel McAdams, Tilda Swinton, everybody does a good job. So yeah, hats off to this movie. If you guys haven't seen the first Doctor Strange, go do that before you go and watch Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. It might not be like a straight continuation from that 2016 film. Of course, we'll have characters from this film, But so much has happened. Doctor Strange has been a spotlight character in numerous films since this first movie. Like, he showed up in Ragnarok for a scene. He showed up in the Avengers films. He played a big part in those last two Avengers films. And now he's getting his own second solo film once again after all this crap's happened. Oh, by the way, he was in No Way Home. If you guys haven't seen that, got spoiler review on the channel. You should go check that out. But nonetheless, I'm really excited for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and you guys can expect me to be reviewing that next week, as well as the finale of Moon Knight. So guys, thank you for joining me on this review of Doctor Strange. Leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new, and be sure to stick around, because there is more to come.